Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So no, I'm not a vegetarian yet or vegan yet, but for the past 40 days, I managed to reduce my meat intake by about 40 to 50%. So basically, I'm only eating 1 meal of meat every single day, as compared to in the past where I will usually eat 2 meals of meat. So these are some of the photos I took during my meat-free journey. In this video, I hope to actually provide tips on how to actually reduce your meat intake without actually drastically affecting or changing your lifestyle. So before we go into the how, why should we actually eat less meat? Most of us are actually quite aware in terms of the benefits of eating less meat. In terms of health perspective, it's not very sure whether eating meat or eating no meat is actually better for your health. However, in terms of the health of the planet, I think it's undeniable that a meat-free diet is better than eating meat. And the simplest explanation is that eating meat isn't a really efficient way of actually getting your energy or in terms of nutrients. Because you can get energy from eating vegetables, the plants actually get the energy from the sun directly. And then if you're eating meat, you're actually getting energy from the animals who are actually getting energy from the plant, and then the plant gets energy from the sun. So this is a more inefficient way of actually getting your energy needs, as compared to directly eating the plants, who actually get the energy directly from the sun. In this way, there's actually less energy lost throughout this whole process. This pathway is actually more efficient and you can get the energy directly. Furthermore, when you're actually eating meat from the animals, you don't actually consume the whole animal but instead only certain parts of it. And energy is actually required to develop these parts of animals that we don't exactly eat. So in a way, this energy conversion isn't really efficient and you're actually losing energy along the way. There are lots of data actually supporting why a meat-free diet is better than eating meat. However, the problem is that vegetables or plants are unable to replace the taste of meat. And because of this issue, most of us are unable to actually become vegetarian or even vegan. And I'm also part of this majority. And the thing is that many of us, including myself, actually view food as part of our lifestyle, and it contributes to a certain part of the well-being of our lifestyle. Thus, despite many of us knowing that a meat-free diet is better for the planet, we're actually unwilling to actually give up meat. So why do you actually go for this meat-free thing suddenly? It's actually because of this video posted by Mark Rober. In this video, he actually provided one tip which actually helped me greatly in terms of eating less meat. And this is also my first tip. And the first tip would then be, stop viewing meat as a necessary component to make a complete meal. I think many of us have this notion that a complete meal needs to actually comprise of like vegetables, meat, as well as like carbs. This is perhaps reinforced during our schooling years, where we're actually exposed to many posters like these by Health Promotion Board. But the reality is that you have a lot of meat-free alternatives that can actually provide the same, if not more, nutrition as well as energy. These can come from things like nuts, tofu, eggs, as well as beans. These items can actually replace your meat-based protein and can actually provide you the energy as well as nutrition you need. And once you get away from this mindset that you require meat for a complete meal, you realize that you're more comfortable with eating a meat-free diet. And you're actually more comfortable with accepting the idea that having a meat-free diet can be a whole complete meal. And the second tip I have, which I think is really useful, is that take it slow. It's really hard for you to be a vegetarian or vegan overnight. And I've seen friends that actually did it, but I've seen many friends who are actually unable to do so. For the first few days, they're actually able to eat a meat-free diet. But the thing is that subsequently, they realize that it's really hard to actually maintain some sort of lifestyle. And they'll then slowly succumb to the temptation of eating meat. So the tip here is that you should try to find a balance between eating less meat as well as maintaining your ideal lifestyle. And this comes with experimentation with your own diet and your own lifestyle. So for example, for myself, as of now, I'm actually comfortable with eating 1 meal of meat a day. Like I don't have the instance where I'm actually dreading to actually eat my meat-free meal. Because having that 1 meal a day of meat is actually able to satisfy my whole day's craving of having meat. And I don't really restrict myself to be having like meat-free meals just for lunch or just for dinner. So as long as I'm just eating 1 meal of meat a day, I feel that mission is accomplished and I'm actually reducing my meat intake already. So find your balance and find what's comfortable for you. Because for most of us, I actually feel that we're eating more meat than we actually need to or actually want to. So it's actually possible for us to actually just to reduce our meat intake without actually compromising our lifestyle. So perhaps we can just try with experimenting with like meatless Monday and then slowly go into like 1 or 2 days of just 1 meal of meat and hopefully work towards less meat and then even one day being like full vegetarian or full vegan. The point here is that you want to actually avoid a scenario where you're actually forcing yourself to have this meat-free diet and then your lifestyle as well as well-being is actually being compromised. And another reason of why I'm actually just having like 1 meal of meat a day is because being vegetarian in Singapore is not that easy at the moment. There are usually like fewer options for vegetarian out there and sometimes they are even quite expensive. For example, if you're actually paying the same price for like a bowl of salad versus like chicken as well as fish, it's quite normal that you feel a bit unfair and you feel that you should just go for the meat option instead of the vegetable one. But the good news is that this landscape is slowly improving. Like in recent years, you realize that there are more vegetarian options out there, and even fast food chains like Burger King as well as like McDonald's have actually made improvement in terms of their menu. On top of this increased availability of having more meat-free options, you realize that meat-free options are actually tasting better, and plant-based meat alternatives are actually catching up to the meat taste. Like personally, I tried the Impossible Burger, and even though it doesn't taste as good as having the meat itself, it's getting closer to the taste of meat. And I believe that once this plant-based alternative can taste as good as meat itself, and at a lower cost, there's actually less inertia for people to actually convert a diet to be a meat-free one. So hopefully with this improvement, more people can actually start this meat-free diet. And be it whether it's like a practical or economical reason, eating less meat is still better for the planet. So in conclusion, I hope that more of us can actually eat less meat for the planet. And I believe that it can be done in an easier way, and I don't think you have to be like a full vegetarian or full vegan to actually make the impact for the planet. Because the truth is that if all of us are actually able to reduce our meat intake by like 40 to 50%, we can actually make a huge impact to the environment. You can just start small, like for example just having meatless Monday, but at any point of time, just make sure that your lifestyle isn't being compromised. So for those of you who are actually vegetarian or vegan, do share your thoughts as well as advice in terms of how to actually eat less meat, or how to actually convert to an entirely meat-free diet. And if not, I'll see you in the next video.